Hi, I'm Jeremy, and I'm your host of Tell Me Wine TV, where we try to answer your questions about wine right here on the internet. And once a week, we're going to try to do a little bit of a challenge for me, which I hope will not hurt my reputation at all. In the past, we've done this exercise a couple of times, which is to discern white wines from red wines and red wines from white wines while blindfolded, with as many as 4 glasses in front of me. And we're going to continue to do that because it's fun, and you know, it's more for me than for you. But somebody did ask about just trying to figure out what a wine is without knowing what the wine is. And this makes my heart beat a little bit more, because now my reputation, whatever reputation I have, is on the line. So anyway, blind tasting is really a exercise in really understanding your senses and understanding what wines should taste like, what grapes should taste like, what grapes should taste like from various parts of the world. And so I've been asked to try to blind taste a wine, not this wine. I don't know what this wine is. And again, I'm nervous, because this is hard. So now I have the use of all of my senses: my sight, my nose, and my palate. And so we see, let's see, it's red. We can see that it's a red wine. And do I sound nervous? Okay, it's a red wine. It's fairly dark. We don't have great light today, but it's fairly dark and really opaque. So it's dense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to walk you through everything I'm looking at, I'm smelling, I'm tasting, and give you my clues as to what it is. So it's red. We got that right. It's very dense color, but it appears to be relatively young. When you look at a red wine for age, you look to the edge of the glass, and you will sometimes see kind of an orangey, browning kind of a, I don't want to say discoloration, but coloration. So it'll go from red to kind of a brownish orange. And I'm not seeing a whole lot of that, if any at all. So I'm going to guess that this wine is relatively young, 3 to 4 years old. It's a little closed, so I'm not getting a whole lot on the nose. It is a little spicy on the nose. Again, spicy is something that you're going to taste rather than smell. It's closed. It's really hard to smell. Okay, sorry. Just gonna taste it. Super tannic. My mouth is like I have cotton balls in it. Aye. See, now my mouth is flush with tannins. So really all the fruit is being hidden. So I don't know how I'm supposed to tell what wine this is. It is like you have this initial impact of fruit, and then it's just overwhelmed by tannins. So I may still 3 to 4 years is still young, relatively speaking, for a red wine. I'm going to try to break down the different parts of the world a little bit. Because it's so rigid, I am going to exclude the United States. I'm going to exclude California or Washington or Oregon, because those wines tend to be softer in style. I'm not getting a whole lot of alcohol, but I've been tricked on the alcohol thing before. So I'm going to exclude the United States. But it's doing something funny. There's two terms that we talk about: New World and Old World. And old world wines part of me says this is an old world wine because of this tannins, because of this rigidness, and I would think French. I'm going to exclude Spain because Spanish wines, again, historically or traditionally, Spanish people like their wines soft and with bottle age. And this thing is tight. This thing is really wound up, as some people do. And I'm just going to quickly rule out Germany because I don't think it's German. It's probably not German. And so it's French or Italian, I think. And it's and I say French or Italian because of that. I personally find traditionally made Italian wines to have some of that rigidity, that need time to unwind. I think a lot of Italian wines are kind of rustic or kind of country style wines. I'm not talking about super Tuscans and you know, Brunellos and Barolos and things like that. I'm talking about the grapes of regional varietals that aren't really treated in a very modern style. And so a rustic type wine is common, I think, in Italy. I'm making generalizations from my point of view. And in France, you get these kind of wound up wines. See, I better be careful because I can't pour more wine into the glass if I go through the whole thing. The only thing is, it has this kind of extracted quality to it. And that I find in wines of Australia. And when I say extracted, and everybody has a different set of terminology, I mean, I think what I mean, I'm getting some cedar, starting to get some notes. I may have to step out of the picture while wine is poured into the glass. But you sense this, to me, you sense the sun, the heat of the vintage. And Australia is famous for being very hot. And it's destroyed crops, and they've had droughts and stuff like that. So I'm getting this extracted kind of quality to it. And again, what I call eucalyptus, but it's so tight. So I'm going to have to leave the shot while my executive producer pours more wine in the glass. Okay? I'm going in the bathroom. Whoops. Tell me when.
Can come back.
Okay. Okay, I went in the bathroom. All right. So again, this is me, the kind of wine geek, semi-professional person trying to judge this wine. I'll just try to review. It's very dark. It's not giving up a lot. So Jan, our executive producer and director, has probably picked a very difficult wine for me to identify. It's a stinker, you know. It's starting to give up some stuff. It really has a kind of barnyardy kind of a thing going on. So what do we say? We've said not the United States. We know it's red. Okay, red. We think it's either France, Italy, or maybe Australia. I'm going to cross out Italy. And obviously French wines and Australian wines couldn't be further apart. Now, that's there, except for one thing. Syrah. Syrah is a grape that's used in France, and it's a grape that's used in Australia, where they call it Shiraz.